what is his stand on the case move to go to court and all the other issues? Because we expected, and this to have say yesterday in the press conference, and many will be reported, and unfortunately, it is equally for some, maybe other events. But since he's here, he will let us know about his take on the commissioner position and what's next as the party for Ozaki. For the honor of Ozaki, so thank you so much.
Thank you. I'll take these on first, then probably others will arise in due course.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm glad to be addressing you from this platform. Indeed, to reassert the words of the leader of opposition, we were able to paint a clear picture from the ground to the diplomats that visited, and reascertain what they've been seeing in the media and other sources of constant human rights abuse, constant disrespect and undermining of the rule of law. And again, we reiterated our call for action. We expressed appreciation for the constant statements that come from the United States administration about the plight of Ugandans, but again we called for firmer action because what is happening in Uganda, what General Museveni is doing to the people of Uganda is exactly, or rather more, as Mugabe did to the people of Zimbabwe, as Bashir did to the people of Sudan, as Taylor did to the people he was governing. All these were sanctioned. We called for the same treatment to General Museveni over the same atrocities. We were asked about the torture reports and the dismissal of the Minister of Security of the same. I'm sure none of you is surprised by the response of the regime on torture, but being members of the media, you have witnessed numerous cases of torture and human rights abuse by this regime. They, of course, will not, admit it, but it's clear that there's constant human rights abuse, where General Museveni has numerously come out to chase stamp and congratulate his soldiers for a job well done. We all remember the 18th and 19th November massacre of 2020, where hundreds of innocent citizens, including women and children, were massacred. General Museveni came out chest stamping and the like. So it is not upon us to explain how and why the Minister of Security denied the same, but it's clear that every culprit will make every effort to deny their culpability. The other question is a rather laughable one. Talks with the regime about what? We have made it unequivocally clear that you cannot put your boot on our neck and then say, let us stop. It is free men and women that negotiate, not prisoners. All the examples that you've given, the circumstances were different. In Kenya, the opposition was not being stifled and being called for talks. You will not speak to a dictator unless when you are in a strong position to speak. We believe in dialogue. But again, we're not going to dialogue with wild animals. The regime in Uganda is clearly behaving like wild animals. It's rather laughable to talk about negotiations when our people are being abducted, tortured, and murdered on a daily, when there's absolute disrespect of human rights and the rule of law. So there is no and will be no talks when the atmosphere is continuously like that. What's next after the visit of the diplomats? We continue to push for action, for firmer action. We've done this on international platforms, and we have to take the opportunity to do the same here on ground where there's visible evidence. We call for firmer action from the international community. We call for isolation of the regime in Uganda. We continue to call for making the rule of law, respect for democracy and human rights a precondition for cooperation with Uganda. We continue to call upon international development partners to not be seen to associate with a clear military dictator that Museveni is. That is our position on that. My stand on the Honorable Zake's plight. I have numerously been well represented by our leaders, by the Office of the Leader of Opposition, by our parliamentary team and our spokespersons, and I don't differ from that position. You all know, if you care to follow the law and to follow the rules of procedure in Parliament, that Honorable Zake's censure was irregular. Everything was done in an illegal manner. We don't believe in illegalities, and we disagree with them. We continue to disagree with them. As far as we are concerned, the Honorable Francis Zake is our commissioner. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other outlier issues before we I'll invite the president to someone is in Uganda to respond to issues.
Oluganda sawa z'Oluganda nga mungikiriza ku saawa amwebale nnyo basebo ne banyabo. Tusinkanye team okuva e Washington nga bali wamu ne ambassador wa United States wana Uganda ng'abazze okwekenneenya ddala okakasa amawulire ge babadde bafuna n'ebimu bye babadde beerabirako mu mikutu egy'amawulire n'emikutu emirala kubibadde birabibwa n'ebyogerwa mu kulinnyira eddembe ly'obuntu, okulinnyira enfuga ey'amateeka n'enfuga eya demokrasiya. Bingi tubyogeddeko ng'era Leader of Opposition bw'abannyonnyodde, naye era tuzeemu okubibateera ku mmeeza n'okubawa ebiwandiiko ebikakasa tibiboogera si byapa si byambu wabula bya ddala. Pozi era tukozesezza guno omukisa okubasaba okubeebaza olwa ebiwandiiko namutayiika ebyenjawulo bye baadde nga bafulumya okuvumirira efuga birigenda maaso mu Uganda. Ne tubasaba baleme kukoma ku biwandiiko byokka wabula wabeewo ebikolebwa ebyenkalakkalira. Tubajjukiza tibannakyemalira abafaanana nga Museveni, ba Mugabe, ba Omar el-Bashir, ba Teira bwe baakolanga ebikolobero ku bantu baabwe ebifaanana nga John Museveni byali mukola ku bannayuganda, wabaawo ekyakolebwa. Era ne tubasaba nti mu nkola y'emu twagala wabeerewo action oba wabeewo ebikolebwa okweyawula ku Mwai Museveni n'okumusaako natti ez'enjawulo. Tubuuziddwa ku ky'okutulugunya abantu ne Minisita wa Security ogenda mu kakiiko k'eddembe ly'obuntu aka Paalamenti n'abyegaana. Munajjukira nti nange bwe nali nga nkyali memba wa Paalamenti nali ntuula akakiiko ak'eddembe ly'obuntu era twayita Minisita wa Security, naye nga bw'eri nkola yaabwe boogera na lujeregerero bagenda maaso n'okugenda okukyalira zi safe houses gye baali batulugunyiza abantu. Okutulugunya abantu okwo tekuggwangawo, kukyagenda maaso n'olunaku lwa leero, naye nga bwe mumanyi nti tufugibwa ku mudumu gwa mundu, ate tekyewunyisa okulaba nga beeganyizo kyendaba ekisekererwa ekyokwogeraganya ne gavumenti ya Mwai Museveni. Njagala mumanye, eggwanga limanye na buli omu amanye, tukiririza mu kwogeraganya ng'abantu. Naye mu mbeera kubaawo kwogeraganya na gavumenti ya Mwai Museveni okuleka nga tulina eddembe lyaffe nga bannayuganda era twogere ng'abantu bannansi abeetengeredde. Mutubuuza kiddako oluvannyuma lw'ensinkana eno n'ababaka abavudde mu gavumenti ya Amerika. Ekiddako sobola kibagamba nti kino oba kino, naye tugenze mu maaso n'okusaba. Okusaba kwe kumu mawanga gaabwe, bwe tusabe nga tuli mawanga g'e Bulaaya, okusaba kwaffe. tubasabye bagoberera nfuga y'amateeka so buli balabirwa nga bali ne Mwami Museveni babanga bawagira obwannakyemalira n'obuzibu emisango Mwami Museveni bwakulembera. N'ekirala tubasabye baseewo obukwakulizo ng'obukwakulizo obwo bwe kuse tubasabye obwebu obukwakulizo okolagana ne gavumenti